Welcome back to STL Live. I'm Sarah Thompson and my guest is Pat Cook of MediNurse, and we're talking about prevention of heat stress. And it's interesting because here we are, our station is located, we're across the street from, across the highway from Forest Park, and we were talking off camera how back in the 50s when there was a heat wave one summer, and I think it got as high as 115, that people went into the park, to the basin, to lay on the ground to cool off. Are there treatments before everyone had air conditioned cars? What were people doing to stay cool, and how does that compare to now? Can you still do those same things?
Well, I think you have to look at safety now, but yeah, I have family members that talked about sleeping out on porch in their own home, but sleeping on the front porch or the back porch because it was cooler. I think that, one of the things that's happened to construction is that we don't seem to have as many windows, or at least operable windows. I mean, certainly if you look at a lot of big buildings, the windows are locked and they don't open. So hopefully that doesn't happen to a home, but I know that people do in the winter seal their windows, to keep the drafts from coming to, help with utility bills. And I know the other side of that, in the summer, people's utility bills, we see that all the time. Utility bills climb and they turn off their air conditioner because they can't afford to pay that bill, or they can't get their windows open, or they're afraid to get their windows open because the house may be older and the windows maybe aren't stable anymore. But certainly opening the windows, if you have fans, if you can't use your air conditioner, trying to use the fan. We had over the weekend again with the storms, 36,000 people who were out of power.
Without power.
And luckily the heat broke a little bit, so it wasn't quite so bad. But yeah, I think preventative, again, drinking, getting as cool as you possibly can, taking cold showers, maybe cold, the rags or the wraps around your neck, around your head, and being aware of, what your own condition is. I think sometimes we don't always look at ourselves. And again, family members looking in on us, particularly if they know that a certain area is without power. Maybe they need to go get grandma and take her to their house, or at least check on mom, dad, aunt, uncle, and look preventatively to remove them from a situation that might be unsafe.
It is. It's because it gets into, as you mentioned, broader issues. Because each summer, when the temperatures really start to climb, unfortunately, there is that one story or more, multiple, where it is sometimes often elderly, where they might have not turned on their air conditioner, and they might not have had one. It might have just been a window unit that wasn't working, and just so quickly, how, as you've talked about today, your body just accelerates in terms of its temperature. So it's so important, as you said, to check in on people. I want to talk about something that often comes out for people who are outdoors a lot, and this gets into with heat stroke, but sun exposure with sunscreen. One end you read every single day, whether regardless if the sun's out, blazing or not, you have to put it on SPF levels. What's your general, as a nurse who's been doing this for a long time, what do you say?
I would say put the sunscreen on. I would say don't get sidetracked by this one is 75. There have been studies that say the best sunscreens are 35 to 50. Don't use too little, don't use the 10s and the 15s. They're probably not worth a lot. But also don't get sidetracked by the over the top. There's a certain limit to it. The other thing with sun is, again, the medications. Certain medications cause a sensitivity to the sun. And so know your medications, know which ones might cause you to absolutely burn, even with or without sunscreen, simply because the medication makes you susceptible.
No, that's a very good point. We've got some information there for you on the screen. This is how to reach out to MediNurse. And briefly, while we have this information, what is it that MediNurse does? What should people who might go to your website, what will they find? What is it that you do?
We are an in-home provider and also a corporate health provider. So if you need basic care, perhaps just personal care, or if you need skilled care, if you're a family member coming home from the hospital, may need dressings changed or supportive care, we're there to help do that.
All right. Well, like we said, if you're interested in MediNurse, visit medinurse.com to learn more. Well, there's more STL Live right after this. Please stay with us.